With that, let's talk about our own markets, how all of these cues, really translate into what we should be tracking, as well as the individual stocks. We have Nigel, Hormaz, and Vivek all here with the trade setup. Guys, a very good morning to all of you. Vivek, let me come to you first. Definitely looks like the start is going to be well in the green, but take us through everything we should track.
Well, good morning, and absolutely, one day after the interim budget, most of the cues are from overnight as well as our own markets are looking extremely positive. Like you mentioned, US markets ended much higher yesterday. Along with that, the kind of momentum seen in Meta shares is also something that, Wall Street cheered. Now, when you're talking about oil prices yesterday saw quite a bit of a dip. So Brent futures ended low by over 2.5%, now hovering around the $78.7 a barrel mark. But let's now focus on the Indian markets. What happened yesterday? Slightly volatile trading session. However, the opening gains were erased and markets ended near the day's lowest point. Which were the pockets that outperformed? Well, it was the PSU banking stocks and the banking pack that actually outperformed in yesterday's trading session. This was aided as far as the bond yield movement was concerned. Which were the sectors that underperformed? Well, the metal pack and the pharma pack. Yesterday, the pharma pack, in fact, saw quite a bit of sell-off, and Aurobindo Pharma on the back of the CNBC TV18 news break was one of the top laggards, even within the healthcare index. But remember, today, whole host of results that came post-market as yesterday, and you will see quite a bit of sharp reaction over there. So watch out for names like Emphasis, Bata, watch out for names like City Union Bank. These are the stocks, that will react quite sharply. The other one, when you're talking about today, whole host of auto sales numbers came in that will continue to trickle in, so you'll see reactions to that as well. And some important earnings today in the form of Tata Motors, UPL, Interglobe Aviation, JSW Infra. Asian markets, GIFT Nifty indicating how a strong gap up start for our markets.
Okay, Vivek, thanks a lot for getting us all of those cues. Let's also bring Hormaz in. Hormaz, like Vivek was mentioning, it could be a lot about these individual moves because there are a lot of earnings, a lot of news flow as well. So take us through the list of stocks we should track.
But the big question is what happens to Paytm today after what happened to it yesterday. And after the earnings call, after the analyst call that the management held yesterday, Vijay Shekhar Sharma said that operational changes are needed to fix the issues at hand, and that will take a few weeks. And until those issues are not fixed, that they will not be originating new loans for a couple of weeks. That is what the management commentary has said. Now, auto sales came in, as Vivek was highlighting. Asher Motors, the sales were under a bit of pressure, up only 2% year on year, and exports were down 20%. Hero MotoCorp sales were good. The total sales were up 21%, domestic sales up 18%. Exports, albeit on a lower base, were up almost 70% from last year. Indian hotels, strong numbers as well. Now, next year, the management is targeting double-digit consolidated revenue growth, and it plans to open 2+ hotels every month is what their target is. Bata's numbers were a miss. The management said that they continue to face persistent market headwinds, but their premiumization strategy continues as per plan. And some other earnings reactions today will be from stocks like RITES, Pricol, Godrej Agrovet, and Emphasis. The Panacea Biotech, where the US FDA has classified its Buddy unit as an official action indicated, which is an OAI status, which means that any pending drug approvals from that facility could be withheld by the regulator till the issues are resolved. And Mahanagar Gas has completed its first ever strategic acquisition, where it will acquire 100% stake in Unison Enviro for 562 crores. And a large block deal that took place in PB Fintech yesterday, where Temasek has made an exit by selling its remaining stake, and New World Fund and Small Cap World Fund are among the buyers. Back to you.
Okay, Hormaz, thanks a lot for wrapping all of that up for us and bringing us all of those stocks. Finally, Nigel is tracking all of the cues from the futures and options space. Nigel, good morning.
Well, morning. Good to see that the troika, or the trio, so to call it, is well behaved today. You have Brent crude prices that are lower. The dollar index has come down to around 103 odd. And the US 10-year yield, well, that came down to around 3.9%. So the troika is doing quite well, so which bodes well for us. What did the FIs do in the F&O market yesterday? They've done what they have been doing for the last few sessions. They added some mild long positions, and they covered some short positions, which brings their short positioning down to sub 70%. And at the start of the series, we made this point that if the FIs are net short, it may not be such a bad thing. And if you just pull up a graph, you'll see in the last few sessions, from a high of around 108,000 net short contracts, it's come down to sub that, to around that 80,000 short contracts. So that's telling you some bit of that short covering has played out, which means the long positioning has gone up. Some longs have been added in the system, and there is some mild short covering as well. What about the options data? Well, the 21,700 call as well as put, it's fairly active in trade. Even yesterday, it appears there's a bit of a strategy playing out, which is a short straddle. What is that? Well, you write the call as well as the put, and you pocket that premium. The premium, as we can see on the screen, if you just club both of them, is around 350 rupees odd, which gives you the short straddle range. What is that? 21,700 minus 350. 21,700 plus 350. And that's how you're getting that markup for you on this screen. which comes up, the broad range up for you on the screen. But the index this week really has been the Nifty bank. And that's been a relative outperformer. We made this point a few sessions ago as well. It's showing some signs of outperformance. And for this week, it's been a bit of an outperformer, outperformed the Nifty as well. The big Q tomorrow is going to be the SBI results. So ahead of that, let's see how the Nifty bank behaves. But otherwise, that's been doing quite well this week. Back to you.
All right, so let's see if that continues. Nigel, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues. With that,